Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones. Welcome to this edition of the program, The Platform. On this program, we examine national, sometimes international issues, and we wish all of you a happy new year. And this is a good time to be talking about your life and resolutions for the new year. And we have an exciting guest on our program today who is probably going to help us in some way, shape, or form to talk about what we ought to do with our life moving forward in 2015. Our guest on the program today is Ona Brown, who is a results coach. She is a renowned speaker and trainer. She has been training a whole lot of people on speaking, and she comes well prepared here today because she is the daughter of my friend, Les Brown. And many Bahamians would know of Les Brown, who has been in the Bahamas a number of times, and he is one of the best motivational speakers that we've seen for a long, long time. But his daughter is here today, and I'm told that she is just as good. Ona Brown, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Jones. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. You are here for the holidays, I believe?
I am. I'm here for the holidays. I love the Bahamas. And you know, my father is adopted, so we don't actually know his birth parents. But whenever we get to the islands, we just come alive. We just feel like it's home. It's like a coming home. And so we've always had this ongoing joke. I say, Dad, I think your parents were from the Bahamas. So it just feels like family. So I love coming here. I love spending time here. And I'm really excited about the few days that I have to be able to be here and spend some quality time with my boyfriend, the ocean.
Okay, very good.
The ocean.
The ocean.
Yes.
I see. Okay. And I hope that you're going to take in Junkanoo.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. I've heard so many great things about Junkanoo, and I've never been able to participate, so this will be my first time.
Very good. Well, I'm sure you would have a lot to tell when you leave the Bahamas, and whenever you're speaking again,
yes,
you can tell of the wonders of Junkanoo. Eh?
Yes.
But you are a results coach. Tell us what that is.
Okay, so oftentimes people know this term as life coach. I started coaching in 1995 before everyone and their mother became a coach, and one of the things that I realized was that when it came down to it, the bottom line was that people wanted to be able to get results. And so that's what I help people to do, is to help them to close the gap between where they are and where they want to be. And we understand as we look at the new year that until you get a new you will never get a new year. So that's what I love to help people to do, to get out of the way, to trade in all their good excuses for great results and get to that next level of their power and what it is that they're here to do in life.
So everyone can get a new you, is that what you're saying?
Everyone can get a new you.
Even though you might be satisfied with where you are, you can get a new you.
You can get a new you if you want, if you decide to get a new you.
Okay.
It is a decision, and indecision is a decision. So the question is, are you willing to let go of who you are for who you can become? Because oftentimes people are not willing to do that, because we know that humans are creatures of behavior patterns. So we get locked into these patterns that are no longer serving us. And so we actually block ourselves and sabotage ourselves from having the lives that we really want in our heart of hearts.
And there are a whole lot of people who are satisfied with where they are. And you need to motivate them to get out of the box where they are.
Right. I think I see myself more as an inspirational person. I come to inspire you, to say maybe I can expand my territory. Maybe I can stretch myself. Maybe there is more available to me, because I have been playing small. I have been living in fear. I have been coming up with reasons why I can't instead of reasons why I must. That's what I really love to do. And it's about helping that person to get into that place of letting go of their comfort zone, which is what Dr. Brian Tracy calls the danger zone, because we all get very comfortable in life, but we're all here to do something great. We're all here to share something and to live out our purpose. One of my favorite sayings is that evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. And we all have the ability as good men and women to do something good, to leave a mark, to leave a deposit, to make a difference in our communities, in our families, in our churches. But it all starts with the self.
Now, how do we get to the point where, for instance, a whole lot of people have difficulty with procrastination, or they are procrastinators.
Yes.
They know they want to be better. They want a new person,
Right.
but they procrastinate.
Right.
How do you get over procrastination?
Well, it's interesting. When I'm actually doing my workshops or trainings or even in a coaching setting, we get to the point of looking at the root of the problem. Why is it that you put this off? Why have you been talking about writing this book or talking about getting into launching your own business or talking about these things, but you haven't got into action? Sometimes we get caught in analysis paralysis because we want everything to be perfect. And you know, my dad always says you don't have to be great to get started, but in order to be great, you got to get started. So getting us into a place of realizing why we're holding back, why we continue to procrastinate. What is the payoff for us? Is it because of fear? Is it because we don't think that we can actually make it? Because we have watched people that we know fail, or we have ourselves failed and we don't want to brush ourselves off and get back up again and again and again because we don't necessarily think that we can do it. So getting to that place of shifting our minds so that we can start to see things differently, because everything comes back to how you see life. As Marcel Proust said, that the only true voyage of discovery is not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. So how can we get new eyes when it comes to our life, our goals and our dreams, and what it is that we're here to do?
There are people who are limited by their circumstances.
Yes.
They are in a box because they are products of their environment. And there are certain things that they they think that they are not able to do.
Right.
And so, people who are watching you today will say, oh, it's good for Ona Brown to say these things.
Right, easy for her to say.
Oh, it's easy for her to say because she is from the United States of America. She is from a big market, but here we are in the Bahamas in a little small market, and there are some things that are just not possible. How do you disabuse people of that particular notion?
Well, everything comes back to our belief, because just in the book of life it says, as a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. So if you believe it's not possible, it will not be possible. But if you believe, even if it's just as small as a mustard seed, a little bit, that it is possible, then the question becomes, what steps do I need to take in order to get to that next level, to be more competitive, to have more value that I bring to the hour? So that's, what does that look like? Is it a product? Is it a service? What type of alliances do I need to build? Oftentimes, one of the main reasons why we're not as successful as we could be is because we're flying solo. And I have my audiences repeat after me, solo, oh no. Because we need to learn how to really complete one another and not compete with one another. So when we're building alliances, even nature has taught us that one goose can fly 75% faster in formation with other geese. So it's not about staying afloat in this global economy. If multi-million and billion-dollar corporations are doing mergers, sometimes with former competitors in order to be able to stay afloat, then that is a sign for us, because success leaves clues. So who do I need to align myself with? Is it a mentor? Is it a coach? Is it an organization? How can I stretch myself and begin to bring more value? What is it that I have? Everyone has something that they can do. Either you're a great writer, or you're a great singer, or you might be a great dancer. I might see you in Junkanoo. Everyone has something that they're able to do. And so how can we maximize and bring that out and bring value? And when you bring value, we know that impact drives income.
Excellent point. There are Bahamians who participate well in groups in Junkanoo.
Yes.
2,000 of them strong in Junkanoo.
Wow.
But when you talk about doing something in business,
Right.
it is sometimes difficult for people who look like us to be able to succeed together in business.
Yes.
Why is that?
There's so many different things that add into that. I think it comes back to our own unspoken self-hatred.
Self-hatred.
When we learn how to really value and love who we are, I can't love you and appreciate you and celebrate you and respect you until I learn to love, appreciate, value, and respect myself. And so therefore, whatever we're doing, I'm going to fear that you might take something from me. I'm going to fear that you might become bigger than me. Instead of learning how to celebrate your successes, how to celebrate each one of your unfoldings. So this all comes back to the work that we need to do within ourselves, understanding that we are our greatest commodity. When I can really value who I am and whose I am and what I'm here to do, then it's easy for me to build alliances with someone like you and not be afraid, because I know that we live in an abundant world and all of us can shine. When you think about a story of a Bill Gates, when they first started, they were meeting in a garage, and they said that each one of the people that were on his team, I think it was around 10 to 12 people that came in this garage, and they had this vision of Microsoft. Each one of them could have done their own business, could have started their own business. They had their own ability to be their own Bill Gates. But they saw his vision and they supported that vision, and they all rose together. And so now they're all multimillionaires together. And that's the space that we really get into when we talk about understanding that the more we have, wherever two or more gathered, I'll be in the midst of them. It's beautiful when you can have the synergy and the compliments, because there's things that where I might fall short that you might be very strong and powerful. And so then my team is stronger because of you being there, and understanding the value of that and really learning how to build that and get emotions out of the way and get past hurts out of the way, because we've all been disappointed. We've all had people betray us. We've all had people fall short of what they said they were going to do. But how can you heal from that and grow beyond that and then get into that next level of success together?
Mm-hmm. I understand, and I want to pick up the point of self-hatred, because I've had conversations on this on numerous occasions with social scientists. And some of them believe that this is a throwback to slavery. It harkens back to slavery, that we have not gotten over the mentality of slavery or the negatives of slavery.
Right.
You agree?
When I say self-hatred, that comes from that, because if we don't understand how to value ourselves, because we were told, my dad said when he lived in Miami as a little boy, there was a sign that would say when you wanted to go over to Miami Beach, it said at the top, first line, no Jews, and then there was no dogs, and then no Negroes. So he said, when he looked at that sign, there was something in him that would feel really bad and think, wow, they listed me after a dog. And to think about the fact that that had some impact on his psyche and what he had to do to rise above that. That's why it's so important for us to be working on ourselves constantly. See, a lot of us just go to work, but we don't work on ourselves because we don't understand how powerful we are. If you're not working on yourself, when I say working on yourself, you should have an empowerment regiment. You should have understanding that the first 5 to 10 minutes of the day sets the tone for the entire day. And we have over, according to scientists, over 60 to 70,000 thoughts, I think, that go through our mind each day. We can't control which thoughts come through, but we can control which thoughts we focus on and which thoughts we give power to. So all of us are going to have negative inner thoughts. I thought to myself, how am I going to be able to speak and make a living as a professional speaker and travel the world and be able to shine my light in the midst of this huge shadow of this man that's been named one of the top 5 speakers in the world? Impossible. It can't happen, because I ran from speaking until it caught me. I didn't see myself of being able to do that. And I spoke in the New Orleans Superdome before 15,000 people. I spoke in London, England at the Royal Albert Hall with my father, and it went out in like 7 different languages. But I never imagined that that was possible for me because of my own negative inner conversation, my own limited perception of myself. And so that's what we need to get I help people to do, is to get to that place of dealing with that negative inner conversation.
I want to pick that up, but let's take a break here. And tremendous food for thought. But there are a good number of people who are victims of circumstances, and we want to talk about that. Let's take this break here on the program. We'll come right back.